afternoon. Welcome to our military signing ceremony. If you please rise for the presentation of the colors.
Color guard, please. And a half step. Forward. March. Column. Left. Right face. Prepare to post. Post. Present. Arch.
Was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. March.
You may be seated. Good afternoon. We welcome all our guests to this military signing ceremony. Ohio recognizes the military service as a meaningful post-high school pathway for the students who wish to enlist and celebrates, as we do, the students who dedicate themselves to service. Ohio graduates have the option of earning seals on their diplomas for meeting special requirements in these specific areas. Military enlistment is among one of these 12 graduation seals. Throughout the rich history of the United States of America, brave men and women have established an honorable tradition of service, taking a sworn oath to defend our great nation. There are approximately 1.4 million Americans serving our country, which is approximately 1%. We applaud the loyalty, academic excellence, dedication, and integrity of these Riverside students who will be entering the service academies and are committing to serve on active duty or as part-time citizen soldiers in the reserves and National Guard for their state and country in the armed forces. By signing today, our students will be proclaiming their commitment to public service, to uphold the United States Constitution, and represent the United States of America, their families, and themselves. We will be honoring 8 students, 6 seniors, and 2 juniors. We will also be unveiling our new POW-MIA Chair. This chair of honor commemorates American servicemen and women who are prisoners of war in action. The servicemen represent these service members who are unable to fulfill them because of their sacrifices. Now I have the honor to introduce Ms. Becky Bartholomew, who has had a huge part in this project.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see so many people out, even though it's a little breezy in Northeast Ohio. We would like to thank all of you for coming today to recognize and honor our outstanding Riverside students as they sign today to help protect our freedom. We would also like to thank the organizations that have made the dedication of the POW-MIA Chair possible. A couple years ago, it seemed absolutely impossible because of the cost. And then a phone call this fall made all this come true in just a short period of time. We're here today today to dedicate these chairs. We have the permanent chair here, and then we have a portable one that will be housed in the Riverside lobby. But the nice thing about this, and I think this is important to remember, that Riverside community supports the veterans and is very involved in promoting service. So this year at graduation, the POW-MIA Chair will be present for graduation. It will be moved to the field house for basketball, volleyball games, wrestling matches. If there's an event at one of the elementary buildings, we certainly can move it there. For the play, it will have a place in the auditorium. So it'll be, many people in the community will actually be able to see the involvement. Rolling Thunder is a national organization that helps bring awareness to the American public regarding prisoners of war and those missing in action. Their mission statement emphasizes the importance that we understand that many American prisoners of war, that there are many prisoners of war that have not made it home yet. They were left behind in all past wars, and they advocate for those who are still missing or in prison or camp. Rolling Thunder works to help correct the past and to protect the future veterans from being left behind should they become prisoners of war or missing in action. They are committed to helping American veterans from all wars. Mr. Lou Ballard and Mr. Paul Wiggett were instrumental in acquiring this chair. They installed it themselves and are very active in this area. They were the leaders of this project, and the other day when they were here putting the chair in, it's just, and I thank them, it's what we do. It's what we do. And I think if you look around here and you look at all the veterans that are present, you youngsters that are sitting at this table getting ready to sign your letter of intent, I think that's a model that you'll acquire if you don't already have it. It's what you do. It's what we do as a group. It's what you do as individuals. The American Legion Post 336 of Painesville has been a force behind this project also. Their mission statement includes the following principles: to enhance the well-being of Americans' veterans, their families, our military, and our committees by our devotion to mutual helpfulness. The American Legion is devoted to selfless service, American patriotism, and values, family and community engagement. And this is evident right here today, the community engagement. The honor of those who come before us. Mr. Rex Bucks and all of the members of Post 336 have stepped up every step of the way with this entire project. The building of the wall, getting names put on the bricks, they've been absolutely wonderful in our fundraising. There's a few other people we would like to recognize, and that would be Aaron and Brian Bonk, and Aaron's mother, Susan Webster. Otherwise, you'd be looking at mulch and not beautiful hostas. Evidently, Aaron's new title is Queen of Hostas. So if anybody needs hosta information or what to do with them, contact her. We'd also like to recognize the fact that we lost, that I know personally, 4 important people in our lives. And 2 of them were part of the original Veterans Committee here at Riverside. And that was Dean Bader and Rich Brady. Dean was in the Air Force and Rich was a Marine. It was just sad. And then we have 2 Riverside graduates that have passed, and that was Becky Lynch and Josh Fonte. So if you just remember them, it's important. Enlistees, help us every day. The Riverside there for you. Our active duty personnel, we have your back. Retirees, we have your back. I know once you're never a retiree, but once you step away a little bit, we still have your back. Our community, we thank you for your dedication to our community and to our country. We are here to support you. Know that this wall represents our commitment to you every day. And if any of you ate at any time while you're serving, you need a letter from home or just some kind words, all you have to do is email Riverside office or send us a note to Riverside 585 Riverside Drive, Mayfield, Ohio, and you will get an answer. And you'll probably get more than one answer. But if you need support, we're here for you. You may not know the person that writes you back, but it's important and they will do that. I promise you that. But good luck, and thank you for your service. Thank you all.
Thank you, Becky. Our guest speaker is Mr. James Hido.
I forgot. I was supposed to introduce Mr. Lou Ballard and Mr. Paul Liggett.
Thank you all for coming out here today in this chilly May afternoon. I want to take this opportunity. Becky did a wonderful job of explaining our mission and what we do and why we do it, but I did want to recognize and thank the administration here. Particularly, I want to thank Becky Bartholomew, and I'd like to acknowledge the color guard from 336 for coming out the system, and especially I want to recognize the Sons of American Legion 336 for their support and efforts and helping us put this in. This is, it's not without cost, and we don't have a lot of fundraising, and they've come in and stepped in and helped us. We really appreciate that. I'm not going to reiterate everything Becky said, but I am going to say that Rolling Thunder was formed back in about 1987. When a group of New Jersey veterans decided they didn't like the way our country was not performing as far as returning our veterans from Vietnam, our POWs and MIAs. So they organized a demonstration ride. That's what it was meant to be. A lot of people call it the parade. It is not. It's a demonstration, demonstrating our discontent with the United States government and their failure to return our POWs and MIAs. That was in 1987. About 2,500 motorcycles descended on Washington, D.C. on the Sunday before Memorial Day and rode through the city to let our feelings be known. The last ride was approximately 3 years ago. I say last ride because it is no longer a national event. It's a state-level event. At that time, we turned out to 1 billion motorcycles hourly to Washington, D.C. I just had the money that we spent on Chrome. I never have to work again. At this point, please, we'd like to conduct the roll call of the missing to honor those who could not and will not be with us.
Officer of the Day, Ballard. Sir, I'm about to conduct a roll call of the United States military personnel. If any fail to respond, will you vouch for their whereabouts?
Yes, sir.
3,344 World War I personnel.
Not present, sir.
Where are they?
Missing in action, sir.
When and where were they last seen?
Prior to the end of World War I in 1918, across Europe, mostly in France and Germany, sir.
72,729 World War II personnel.
Not present, sir.
Where are they?
Missing in action, sir.
When and where were they last seen?
Prior to the end of World War II in 1945 in Europe, Asia, North Africa, the Pacific Islands, the Atlantic, and on virtually every continent and ocean in the world, sir.
7,662 Korean War personnel.
Not present, sir.
Where are they?
Missing in action, sir.
When and where were they last seen?
Prior to the ceasefire in 1953, mostly on the Korean Peninsula. However, many were reported to have been sent to China and former Soviet Union, sir.
1,589 Vietnam War personnel.
Not present, sir.
Where are they?
Missing in action, sir.
When and where were they last seen?
Prior to Operation Homecoming in 1973, in South Vietnam, North Vietnam, Laos, and the former Cambodia and the former Soviet Union. However, many have been seen alive in captivity since then, sir.
126 personnel of the Cold War.
Not present, sir.
Where are they?
Missing in action, sir.
When and where were they last seen?
Worldwide, sometime between 1945 and the end of World War II and 1989 when the Berlin Wall came down.
6 personnel of the War on Terrorism.
Present, sir.
Where are they?
Missing in action, sir.
When and where were they last seen?
Libya Gulf. Libya, Persian Gulf, Iraq, and Afghanistan, sir.
Very good. Office of the day. Dismissed. To all of you here, do not forget those that have given the ultimate sacrifice, and do not give up on those left behind. God bless our military, past and present, until they all come home. And God bless the United States of America.
Bugler, sound tip. Color guard, present, march.
get started, I'm just going to give you a brief intro of myself. As he stated, my name is James Hido. I'm a 2003 Riverside graduate. Directly following graduation, I departed and shipped out to the Marines. Served 5 years honorably in the Marines, 3.5 which were overseas. Upon exiting the Marine Corps, I decided I was going to go to college and obtain my bachelor's degree, of which I did so at Cleveland State University. Upon exiting State University, I opened up my first business, which is an entertainment company with focusing on weddings. From there, I decided that I was going to go into corporate America and test my trials there. Realized really fast that corporate America wasn't for me. At that point, I decided I was going to go off on my own and open another business, of which is also Bar a Day Taco. So I own 2 businesses, a third of which is now about to open. Meanwhile, I also sit on the board of directors for the Sub-Zero Mission. For those of you that do not know what the Sub-Zero Mission is, I would highly anticipate you look us up. SubZeroMission.org is founded by veterans, it's operated by veterans and others with a focus on veterans. The unfortunate thing in our economy is less than 1% of our nation serves our armed forces for everyone else to have their freedoms, of which that 20% of our homeless that are on the streets are actually veterans themselves. That's a staggering statistic that myself and a lot of my colleagues here today will be soon trying to continue to end our struggles. And now before we get started here today with a show of hands, all right, how many of you out here today know and understand the meaning of hope? How many of you sitting here today would define hope? Hope as a definition, as a noun, is a feeling of expectation and desire for certain things to happen. And hope as a verb is wanting something to happen or to be the case. So again, I want you to ponder those thoughts while I speak with you here today. We live in a society that's driven by technology, with social outlets leading the way and with new trends and mass media coverages of local, national, and world events. The unfortunate thing with technology is it is consistently evolving in how we interact as a society. Today you can walk in to get lunch somewhere, have a conversation about wanting to buy a new car, and within seconds of getting on one of your mobile devices, you're targeted with new car options for sale locally. You can also go on Amazon, consider making a purchase, and decide to hold off, but then be retargeted with the same item for the next 7 days to entice you to make that purchase. Instead of people showing up on your doorstep wanting to sell you physical items, you are now bombarded on every mobile device and every digital platform you may own. This is our world, and this is our technology. A study was recently conducted here in the United States with young children on what they want to be in life. And do any of you out there know what the #1 selected career profession was? It's a social influencer, right? A social influencer, not an athlete, not a teacher, a police officer, a fireman, a contractor, an engineer, or a lawyer, but a social influencer. Some of you out there may be asking yourselves, what is an influencer? Well, my simple answer to you is go on social media, and you will see everywhere from Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Reddit, and so many more. So with all of these outlets set to influence young minds, how do we define hope? And how do we have hope? How do we believe our future is bright? How do we find ways to block out the white noise? Well, for those of you in the audience, you may be asking yourselves, how do I define hope? And ladies and gentlemen, for me, that's simple. I don't define hope as a meaning or a phrase. Hope to me is actually a direct reflection of these young men and women that are sitting next to me here today. All right, with all the challenges, white noise, mass media agendas, digital marketing, retargeting, and so much more, they are our hope. These young men and women have stood up, raised their right hands, and vowed to protect this nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They will be the tip of the spear that leads the charge of our nation. That, my friends, to me, is the epitome of hope. That's what leads me to believe that no matter the white noise, mass agendas, political parties, our great nation will stand the test of time because of these young men and women and others just like them. Now, for those of you that may need a tissue, feel free to take a moment. I completely understand, because this next message is directed at these 8 individuals sitting up here next to me. I want you all to listen to this very closely, to what I have to say next. The military is no different than life. It is going to draw you cards that you did not want to be dealt. It will break you down to the core mentally, physically, and emotionally. It will test your every decision. You will be faced with daily struggles and frustrations, and regret will bear its ugly face. But with all the adversities and challenges you may face, you will gain a brotherhood and sisterhood unparalleled to anything else you may do in life. You will gain life lessons, experiences, and opportunities that every individual will bear witness to. You will build a mental toughness and fortitude to tackle every obstacle that may be thrown your way in life. My words of advice and encouragement are simple. Respect your seniors and your peers. Be on time. I cannot emphasize that enough. In the Marine Corps, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. Take that as a dutiable notion right there. And always give 100% at what you do. Whether it's PT, job training, leading others, classwork, anything, give 100% and never give up. In the reality of life, you have but one asset and one liability. You are your biggest asset, and time will always be your biggest liability. How you manage that will determine your destiny. Tomorrow is never guaranteed, and what you do now today will weigh on tomorrow's possibilities and opportunities. So in closing, can I ask everyone to please stand? I would like to not only thank, but I want to congratulate these young men and women sitting next to me here today. Let's put our hands together for the 2023 Military Signing Day here at Riverside High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hido. Next up, our Director of Guidance, Mr. Scott Bayless.
Good afternoon. I'm Scott Bayless, the Director of Guidance here at Riverside High School. It's an honor to be here in front of you, saluting our military inductees in the class of 2016. All we're going to do this is joined by these 8 young men and women who are going to, who I will call up, and they will talk a little bit on behalf of their recruit, and then they will introduce the recruit. And for the 8 of you, I would really love it if you could come up here, talk a little bit about what your future plans are, why you chose your branch of the military, and what you might be specializing in the military. And this will be your chance to maybe thank a few people who have helped get you to this point in life. All right, so we're going to start with Staff Sergeant Josie Papinetti from the U.S. Army Reserves. I'm sorry, National Guard.
Hi, come up here. I'm Staff Sergeant Josie Papinetti, and I'm here honoring the commitment that Jake Catlett has made to the National Guard. He is a junior this year, and he's doing our split option where he can go to basic training this summer, come back, finish out his senior year, and then he'll go to his job training once he graduates. For his commitment, I'm here to congratulate him and offer him a certificate from the Ohio Army National Guard scholarship. This is going to pay 100% of his tuition to and then he won't be working this until next year, but we have staff for him as well. Congratulations.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. As you heard from my sergeant, my name is Jake Catlett. It's good to see you all here today. So I want to talk to you a little bit about why I made my decision. That's pretty simple. The speaker here said it himself. It's about hope and discipline. See, I have a pretty interesting path in my life. I was grew up overseas in Kuwait for 15 years. My mother was from Brazil. I was little, my mother passed away, so it was just me and my father doing this journey all by ourselves. And the one thing I've learned from my experiences is discipline and the act of persevering through difficult times and making the right choice. So the reason I'm doing this today is because I want to sacrifice myself for something greater, prepare a future for myself, one that I know I can be proud of. So the people I want to thank today are my father, who unfortunately cannot be here because he is in Texas right now. I want to thank my girlfriend Lily over there for supporting me through my journey and all my choices. I want to thank my football team for encouraging me and offering me to still play when I come back. And most importantly, I want to thank all of you for being here today. And of course, my sergeant over there. Thank you. So, with all that being said, I am very excited to start this journey in my life, to start disciplining myself and to be better, not just for myself, but for this country. So thank you.
Thank you, Jake. I'd like to call up Staff Sergeant Reginald Williams from the United States Air Force and Griffin Demshar.
Hello everyone, I'm Staff Sergeant Reginald Williams and I'm here today to talk a little bit about Griffin Demshar. He came to me probably about 6 months ago saying that he was interested in the United States Air Force Special Warfare program. So we had to have a sit down and talk, and I began to help him on his journey. Demshar will now be entering the pipeline for that training starting July. He has shown nothing but excellence in all we do, which is one of the Air Force's main core values. And I just want to congratulate him on taking the steps necessary and needed to continue to help the fight and continue to have boots on the ground and continue to fight for our country. So thank you, Demshar. He has some words for you guys to say for you.
As he said, I'm Griffin Demshar. It's going to be hard to beat his speech. Pretty dang good. But yeah, I chose the military because I truly didn't have a path I wanted to follow. College was not in my future. I'm not a big fan of school, but we'll get through it. Let's see. I chose the Air Force because I looked at all the branches, came across the Air Force, and then came across Special Warfare and Combat Controller. I thought it was really cool and a good way to start my life off after high school. I've talked to many veterans, and they all say the Air Force is a really good way to go, and a good way to set up my life for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Griffin. Introduce Staff Sergeant Kylie Howard of the United States Army. Introducing Kylie Lanning.
Good afternoon. This is my second year being able to be part of the ceremony, and by far one of the best that this all of the schools that we work with have to offer. Thank you to everyone that was part of this, that was creating this, all of you guys and our students. I'm here to represent two ladies today, girl power, so I'm very excited. First one is Kylie. Kylie is going to be joining the United States Army active duty as a combat medic. And in my opinion, it's the best job in the Army, and I'm not saying that because I'm a combat medic. Kylie comes from a family of military service. Her father and her brother have served the Marine Corps, and she serves as well. Army. So be ready, because unlike most of them that are going to start at the bottom, right up, and then there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be expected of you. I've known Kylie for a short period of time, but I definitely see a lot of qualities that are going to make her a great combat medic, which I take pride in. As a medic, I want everyone that I meet that wants to be a medic to meet certain expectations. She's definitely had those qualities and expectations that I'm looking for. Without further ado, however, she is graduating this year, so she'll be wearing her stole for graduation as well.
Sergeant Howard kind of covered it all, but I come from a long line of military members, and like grandpas, uncles, my father, and my brother they're both Marines, and it's something that I've always kind of felt pride about, something that I've always admired in them, and the way that it shapes up as human beings. And I think that this is like a really good path for me, and as she said, I'm an EMT student. I just completed the EMT course, so combat medic was kind of a no-brainer. And I've talked to a lot of combat medics, and they all have very good things to say about it. So that's why I'm joining.
Thank you, Kylie. I'd like to introduce Staff Sergeant Jared Brown of the United States Marines, and he will be introducing Matthew Lehner.
Good afternoon. I'm Staff Sergeant Warren. I'm the local Marine Corps representative. For this school out here, it's my first year coming to this ceremony. And I wanted to take the opportunity to recognize Matthew Lehner. He is the NROTC recipient at this school, and he will be going to Ole Miss. And one day we have to call him sir, but not yet. Congratulations.
As you said, I am going to the University of Mississippi for the ROTC. I wanted to originally join the Marines because when I was a kid, my parents can attest to this, I wanted to be a Marine, whether or not they wanted to believe it. At that time, they didn't, but God proved me right. Then I got this scholarship, so now I get to go to college too. But in the end, I wanted to go for EOD or aviation. And I wanted a challenging route, so I chose the most challenging branch, the Marines. That's about all I have to say right now. So, thank you.
Introduced Chief Petty Officer Nathan Holt of the United States Coast Guard, who will be as a recruit is Tommy Nichols.
Good afternoon. As Mr. Bailey said, my name is Chief Petty Officer Nathan Holt with the Coast Guard. Thank you to all the veterans behind me in your service for this country. I appreciate it. My uncle served in Vietnam, and we respect you guys a lot. Thank you. And so yeah, I met Tommy back in March of 2022 when he was a junior here at the school. And I was told that since he was a young kid, he wanted to join the Coast Guard, which makes a recruiter's life very easy. However, our journey to this point was long. I think it only took about a year and a half, give or take, to finally get him ready to join. So I'll let Tommy come up and tell you what he wants to do and why he wants to join.
I'm Tommy. I'm joining the Coast Guard. I don't know why. I've just always wanted to join the Coast Guard for ever. It might have started when I was little, going on the boat and seeing the Coast Guard around, but it just seems what I want, what I want to do. So that's why I'm joining.
Staff Sergeant Jared Brown of the United States Marines, and bring up Andrew
First, I want to start off by thanking everybody who helped me get to this point. My girlfriend Tatum, she's over there. My mother, and my dad, over there. Oh, he's over there. I want to thank all of them. So, if you told me like a year ago that I'd be joining the military, I'd probably believe you, honestly, because it's something I've always wanted. I've always looked up to my dad for that. He's been in the military. His whole line of the family has been in the military. They've been in the army though, so it's a little different, but I still want to thank him, and I want to thank my mom for helping me, motivating me. Even though asking me a million times, are you sure? Still, I just want to say thank you. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Next, I want to talk about what I'll be doing. So, as Staff Sergeant Warren said, I'm going combat engineer route. What led me to this option was because I wanted something with action, but I also wanted something that would give me like real skills that I could use outside. And a combat engineer would help me with that, as I learned of like engineering and a bunch of whole other tactics, really. And another reason why I wanted to enlist was just because I've always, I just always wanted to. There's nothing more honorable to me than protecting my family and my country. That's why I have to do this.
She actually just went the other day and she completed a fitness test. I'm sure she had a lot of fun. I'm not sure if everyone understands what a sacrifice she's doing, right? You know, all the juniors are getting ready to just, enjoy their summer and whatnot. And then we have two young people here that are willing to give that up and go, start their training, start early, not late, and get it started. I unfortunately will not be here when she graduates high school, which breaks my heart. But I'm glad I got the chance to speak on her behalf when she does graduate from high school. Our hope is that she will be applied for an ROTC program to the college of her choice, and I will be calling her ma'am one day too. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see everyone that I've helped put in the Army maybe see in the future, because I will still be in. So without further ado, Vanessa.
Okay. I'll try to make this short, but as a lot of people know, I usually have a lot to say. So, I used to send pictures of this day to my mom, and she told me that she hopes that I was up here one day, and here I am. So, but I would like to start off by saying that the military has been a part of my life throughout my entire life, with my stepdad being a Marine and us moving around all the time. Going to his ceremonies for, I don't even know what, I was too young to remember, to going to the MCX days with my family, and I got lost a couple times. So this has been the easiest but biggest decision of my life thus far. Speaking of my stepdad, he's the one that I look up to the most in these kinds of situations. He's helped me put my foot in the door, and I'm so thankful for him. And there's been so many ups and downs in this process, but I've made it this far with the help of everybody. I've chosen the path of Army Reserve with an MOS of a 92 Yankee unit supply. I chose supply because in my volunteering time with Sub-Zero Mission, I learned to inventory all donations they received, and it was pretty easy and really fun because I also got to do it with my stepdad. I didn't realize until time got closer to my ship date the amount of support I have for my family, their friends, my neighbors, everybody. I didn't recognize all of them until today, of course, and until one of my parents' friends pointed it out to me, how many people are actually behind me and with me on my journey. I don't want to disappoint any of you or myself, so I just ask for the same love and support that you all give me throughout my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. All right, how about a round of applause for our 8 recruits for the class of 2000, the 6 of the class of 2023, and our 2 for the class of 2024. I know they've already have signed probably numerous documents to make this day possible, but we are going to ask them to sign one more. They've each been given a certificate and a beautiful Riverside High School pen, which I want you to keep the certificate and keep the pen when we're done. But this time, I would like our recruits to officially sign their document and make this day kind of official. Congratulations, and I'd like to bring back Principal Mr. Baird for some closing remarks.
Thank you. What a great afternoon. I'd like to thank all our veterans in attendance, our family members, staff, and military recruiters. Special thanks to Mr. Oberfeld, all the surveillance, Mr. Barnell, Mr. Cabell, made all these efforts possible. We wish these 8 young men and women the best of luck in their future endeavors representing Riverside and the military branch. Thank you. We do have some refreshments, so enjoy. Thank you for coming.